Alright guys, today we're taking a look at the DJI Mini 2. Now those of you guys who have followed me on this channel already know that we have actually done a review on the original Mini. I didn't expect to be doing a review on a sequel so fast because the original Mini actually only came out a little less than a year ago. So I didn't expect to see a Mini 2 arrive. But out of nowhere they announced it a couple days ago and I got one in and I had to review it. Luckily I was able to recoup most of my costs to get this one by trading in the old one, which helped me out on making this an actual reason to upgrade. But today I want to take a look at this with you guys, give you guys an impression of what's in the Fly More combo box. Then of course after that we're going to take a look at some 4K footage outside and see how that footage actually looks like, because this is now one of the big features on here. And we'll go through the features and see at the end if I think it's worth people to upgrade from the original Mini and what I think about this one overall. Something to mention that's really exciting for me is that this is the first video I'm shooting a completely 4K. So from now on, anything that becomes like unboxings or product reviews or anything like that will all be shot in 4K from beginning to end. So you guys should see an improvement to my videos from here and going forward. So that's really exciting stuff. I actually have a wireless microphone coming in too. So wireless microphone comes in for my next video. So there's going to be some good stuff on this channel when it comes to 4K recording and stuff like that. So I hope you guys can look forward to that and appreciate the quality bump on this video and any future videos from here on out. And I'm really excited for it. So the only caveat to that is that, you know, I do a lot of VR videos on this channel. And of course, recording VR content in 4K is not feasible in any way right now, and it would make no sense. So those are the only ones that won't be in 4K. But anything as far as, like I said, tech reviews and unboxings and you know, Xbox One X, Series X that comes out next week, the PS4, all that stuff, you'll definitely see an upgrade in quality and all this stuff. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But for now, let's get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie.
Alright guys, so we're going to start off with the unboxing of this. This is the Fly More combo. This goes for $599. There's some exciting features to talk about with this thing that we will get into at the end of the review. But for now, we're going to unbox this together before we take it on its first flight. So let's go ahead and do that. And like I said, this is the Fly More combo for $600. You could just get the drone if you want, and I'll show you what comes in just the drone when we open this box up. But if you just get the drone, then it's only $400, and you get the drone and the actual controller and a couple of other pieces of propellers and stuff. But the Fly More combo gives you a lot more than that. All right, so you can see here we got the box open now. So let's go ahead and open the top up. And this comes in a nice little carrying case here, as you guys can see. So we'll put this box to the side now. It comes in a nice little travel carrying case that I really like. Looks really sleek, has little DJI symbol down there. I like this now that I see it in person. I do like it better than the original. As you're seeing here, the original DJI Mini came in this gray case that you guys are looking at, and this is now a different case that you guys can expect with this one. And as soon as we open it up here, open up the zipper, see here that everything is neatly organized right in here, as you guys can see. And if we start taking some stuff out, let's go ahead and take a look. First thing we have right here is the manual and quick start guide. So we'll put that to the side for now. So that's the quick start guide that's in there. And then right here we got the gigantic box of accessories. So we can go ahead and dive into these in a second. And here is the actual controller. And then the actual drone itself. Now, like I said, this bag feels really premium. It has a nice quality to it. Even has a nice little zipper here on top. And this is actually where they store all of the extras as far as the propellers go. So there's a bunch of propellers, as you can see here, that has all the extra stuff in there. And there's a couple more things in here too. There is the thumbsticks. They give you 2 extra thumbsticks in there as well for the controller. And this looks like the screwdriver. Yeah, the screwdriver to put the propellers on. So it has a nice little Ziploc bag right here. So you can put that in there and not lose those. So yeah, the bag is really good and really easy. It seems to carry around. Feels like really good quality. So let's go ahead and start with these accessories right here. So first thing we get, and like I said, this is the Fly More combo, so you're going to see more accessories here than you would, of course, than the original, because the only thing you get with the original for $400 is the controller and the actual drone here. So you won't get anything else besides those two for $400. For $600, you're getting all these extras. So first thing we have here, a really important thing that everyone, of course, cares about is the actual charger for all your batteries. So this comes with 2 extra batteries, as you can see right here. I'm not sure if there's one in there. I don't know if it comes with 2 or 3. We'll find out. But there is 2 extra batteries right here, and this is how you charge the unit. And speaking of charging, it comes with the actual DJI plug, so you can go ahead and charge that together and get that going really easily. And then a couple of other pieces of things in here. The drone is now using USB-C, so it comes with the USB cable, USB-C cable. And here is the USB-C adapter. So you can see here that there is USB-C to USB-C for your phone. There's also USB-C to micro USB sitting right here. So you got these 2 different cables to connect your phone. So good to have that. And I think that is everything in this box, it looks like. Yep. So that's the accessories box in there. Mostly just the actual, like I said, important thing here being the charger. And if we move along over here, this is the actual controller. So this is the new controller, very different controller as you guys are seeing here than what the original was like. The original one actually clamped your actual phone at the bottom. This one actually clamps your phone now at the top. So, and the buttons are just obviously let out different on this one. It's a much beefier and bigger controller. It does have all the same functionality. They moved the buttons now for the picture, and the record is now on 1 button on this controller as opposed to the other one that had them on 2, but it still has all the same functionality either way, and should hold a larger battery. We'll see how long this actually lasts as far as battery life goes. So yeah, this controller looks good, feels good in the hands, has a nice grip to it, so that's good. And then this little guy right here, so this is pretty cool, that comes in the only in this bundle, which is this little strap you see here on the DJI that actually snaps in and kind of holds it together. So why this is cool is because when it's in the bag, this little strap here will actually hold the propellers in place and not be bouncing all over the bag. So cool that they added that. One of the difference here, as well as you can see on these 2 drones of the original and this one, is that this one has a little 4K symbol here on the front. So this camera does do 4K as opposed to the other one that only did 2K basically recording. Here on the back of the drone, it does have another battery, so you do get 3 batteries with this, like I thought. Here on the back of the drone, you can see that there is the USB-C charger. The micro SD card slot is sitting here right on the back. And yeah, that's what the drone looks like as far as everything. Like I said, it looks really sleek. It has the same light weight. It is 248 grams, which means it's really easy. You don't need to like register it with the FCC or anything, and it can fly without having any issues with that since it's such a small drone. So yeah, I am excited to get this on its first flight so I can show you guys some footage of this, because that's one of the main benefits of this thing. Is there's 2 things. There is the 4K recording. Well, there's actually 3 things. There's the 4K recording, which on here it does full 4K recording at 30 FPS, where the original did only 2K recording at 30 FPS. So this has that capability, which is one of the big upgrades. Now you can shoot 4K. And the second thing is with this is now, the original used to use Wi-Fi to actually let you connect to it. This is now using OcuSync, which is the proprietary technology that basically changes the frequency between 2.4 and 5.8 whenever it needs to as you're flying. It basically just gives you longer range. This one goes 10 kilometers as opposed to 4 kilometers of the original, which should be a good experience and has a stronger connection overall. So that's what I'm excited about. These 2 features were the 2 features that I got it for the most. Being able to travel further and have better quality signal is obviously really important, especially in a congested area where there's a lot of interference to begin with already. So that's what I'm excited to test, how far I can go with this thing compared to the original. And I'm also excited, like I said, because of the 4K recording that we're going to check out here in a minute. The third thing it does is it does handle winds a lot better than the original. This can handle up to 38 kilometer winds, so that's really exciting. That it can actually handle those wind speeds and stuff compared to the original, which 15 miles an hour was basically the cutoff. So obviously having that stability and peace of mind that it can handle stronger winds is always good when you're out there flying. So, but that's enough talking for the unboxing portion of it. Let's go ahead and get this set up. Let's go outside and let's see how this actually does with our first 4K recording. All right, guys, so here we are with the controller. Before we go outside and fly this thing, I wanted to give you a little bit of more of a look into the actual controller itself. And this is how you see the phone is sitting on top. It clamps on really easily with an attachment on the back that you kind of just pull up, and then the phone just slides in there. And then the cable goes right into there. The cable actually hides in here, and this clamps down when you put this away. But when you take it out, you connect the cable right through here. And all different phones and sizes. I'm using a Samsung Galaxy S20 right now, as you can see, and it clamps on there really easily. The Ultra, actually, which is the biggest version of the Galaxy S20. And then these little nubs that get put on here do come off, and then they kind of hide back here at the bottom, so it's easy to put away. And then, of course, you have the cinema, the normal, and the sport mode that we were talking about, the return to home, the power button to turn this on. And then if you take a look at the back, you got the camera button here and the gimbal to move up and down while in flight. And then this button here actually switches from camera to recording, from pictures to recording a video, depending on what you want to do. So I really like the look at this, but let's go ahead and look at the app real quick as well on here. So this is the DJI app that we're looking at. And as you can see here, this is the main screen before you actually connect to the actual unit. So if you click on album, this will be like everything that you've taken pictures of that's sitting on your phone, which is good. And then if you click on here, your profile will actually show you exactly how far you've gone. So you can see I've driven 50 minutes so far, how far I've driven, how many different flights I've taken with the new DJI Mini 2. And then down here you can see go fly. So if you click on here, I can switch it to flight mode, and now I can hit go fly. Of course, we're not going to fly inside the house. This is just to show you what it looks like. But this is the home screen of what you're looking at. So of course I'm looking at the actual camera feed from the actual drone right now. And most important thing here is that over here on the left hand side, it gives you your home point. So this is where it is currently located. Really important to take a look at that and make sure the home point actually updated when you actually are about ready to fly. And then over here, it tells you the options that you're currently sitting at. So you can see currently I'm recording at 4K 30. If I click that button, like I said, it switches to JPEG. So you know you're taking pictures. And this does do raw capture as well. So you can do raw pictures as well for you to edit them separately on Adobe Photoshop if you want to. And then over here is the record button if you want to do that instead of hitting the button on the back I was talking about. And this is the zoom button. So you could zoom 2x on 4K and 4x on 1080p. Over here are the different options that you have to record. So you can see you can do 4K 30, 25, 24. 2.7 does 30 and 25. 1080p can go up to 60 FPS. And then you got the photos, which you can do single or time shots. And then you also have the quick shots, which we can't do if it's not in the air, but quick shots I will get into. We're going to do a couple of quick shots to show you where basically the drone takes certain stances that it does automatically and then kind of takes a video for you. But we'll look at that once we're in flight with those. And this is panel mode, so you can take a panoramic picture really easily. So that's what those two options are, but we can't look at that while we're not in flight. If you look in the top right corner here, you can see that this is the battery life, which is really important. Then you got the little GPS icon signal up there, so that's really important as well. So you guys can see, make sure that the GPS signals are all connected before you leave. I mean, it won't let you take off. It will tell you not to take off if it doesn't have GPS signal, but that's what those little antennas are. So right now it's connected to 14 or 13 different GPS signals, which is a really strong signal, so that's good. And then this little button right here is what you can hit to either take off. So you can hold the button here, which we're not, of course, going to do, but you can hit that button to take off or land. So it's an easier way to land as opposed to using the control sticks that you can use to land as well. And I think over here, you have all these settings. Now, this is really important here. You can set the max altitude here in the US. The 400 feet is the max altitude that you should be going based on the current regulations. This you can set as a max distance that it will actually let your drone go. And this is the auto RTH altitude. So this is really important to make sure you have this set. So when you hit the return to home function, where no matter where you fly to, it returns back to the home point. What's really important is to make sure that this is set to the highest, no matter like the highest point in your area. So above all houses, above all trees, above all buildings. So because as soon as you hit the return to home button, it's going to go to that actual height and then return to home from that height. So make sure that that's above everything. So I have mine set to 150 feet in my area. Here you can update your home point if you need to, and check a bunch of other things here like battery info and compass to make sure everything is calibrated. If you need to calibrate it after the first time, it's here. Then you got the control, so you can change the units depending on where you are. I'm an Imperial since I'm in the US. So a couple of different things you do with the gimbal here to recenter it. Here in the camera, you can change the format. You could do JPEG or JPEG or RAW, like I said. You could do 16:9 or 4:3 pictures. You can change the histogram. You can change overexposure, so you get an overexposure warning. And then if we go on top here to transmission, this will tell you the frequency. So what's good about this drone is it operates on dual band 2.4 and 5.8. So that's not something you actually want to change. You definitely want to leave it on dual band and let it auto change what it needs to as you're flying. So those are the settings you can get into. But like I said, the most important thing before you start flying is to make sure you're connected to all those GPS satellite. It will tell you here if it's not, but make sure that you have a good GPS signal before you take off. And of course, make sure that when it turns on and you're about to fly away, make sure your home point on this map is actually where it should be, so you know it's going to return to the area you actually want to return to. So now that we have all that set up, let's go ahead and take this out for some flight so you guys can see some pictures and some videos of actual footage of what you can get from a drone like this. Alright guys, so that was the DJI Mini 2. As you can see by that footage, it takes fantastic footage here in the daylight. Not so much in the dark. The dark definitely produces a lot of noise in the videos and stuff, unless if you're sitting there fine tuning things. But it's still not bad at all in the nighttime if you want to get some cool shots. I mean, you could still see some detail in the video and stuff. It's just a little bit more noisy than obviously during the daylight when it's bright out, and obviously it has a lot easier of a time. And this drone is so much better, even though it's less than a year apart from the original Mini that I had, which was my first drone ever when I got it like, what, 6 months ago? Which is the DJI Mini 1. I almost didn't upgrade to the Mini 2 because, like, obviously being COVID times and stuff, we're not going out a lot. We're not going on vacation a lot. So places that we can actually go drone flying and get some good shots aren't happening as much. I was like, do I even want to? I was like, yeah, but if I want to, I could sell the other one now for more cost. You know, I went back and forth, and then I read the features, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. For the sake of reviewing it on the channel, also gave me a little bit more incentive to push forward with that. And it's awesome. It's so much better, and I'm glad I did it because it is so much better than the original. Now, I know you guys didn't see it in the video footage, but when I took the original Mini 1, which was using the Wi-Fi as far as signal, I live in an area that's heavily congested with a lot of people. There's a lot of electrical poles. There's a lot of people using internet and stuff like that. So with it using Wi-Fi, when I went straight forward, like you guys saw in that clip there, when I went over the river and got to the baseball field, that baseball field is where I lost connection. Not lost where I lost the drone, but it said, you know, weak signal. And that was about 1,500 feet, and then I had to turn around because I got weak signal. This time when I went that direction, I got to 5,800 feet. Still could keep going, but I got a little nervous because I was hitting pretty far away, which was a lot further, obviously, than I did the first time, almost 3 times as much, and didn't have any issues, no signal loss, no nothing. So it's a much better improvement with this one now using OcuSync, which is their proprietary technology that kind of like switches between 2.4 and 5.8 Wi-Fi signal. So it obviously has a much stronger signal with the video feed and stuff. I never cut out in video. So I had no issues when I went that far. I actually turned around before because I got to, like I said, almost 6,000 feet away. And I was like, all right, I'm kind of getting a little nervous because this is a lot further than I've been last time, like 3 times that much. So I turned around. And then the other video that I did was going the other direction because, well, 2 more directions. I went straight across the field that I'm sitting in. And crazy enough, I guess with the amount of interference that's in like the block radius that we're in with everyone using Wi-Fi and stuff, I literally go from one place from the field to the other one on the original Mini. And that is literally like under 1,000 feet for sure. And I was losing losing signal on the original one. So it definitely heavily depended on how the interference was in the area. So even though I was able to go 1,500 feet one way, the other way only let me go, you know, like I said, with the heavy interference in the area, under 1,000 feet before I started getting interferences to show. I love the original one because, like I said, most of the time, like I wasn't going to go that much further than, you know, 2,000 feet. And I know that I was in a heavily congested area with interference and stuff. So I knew it was going to be better when you go to like destination spots and vacation spots to take good photos and stuff. But that was still obviously one of its biggest caveats. And of course, it didn't record 4K video like this one does. I'm really, really impressed with the improvements of the distance of this thing. It's definitely a game changer, and I'm glad I upgraded it for that reason alone. If that was the only reason why I upgraded, and that's the only benefit I got out of it, I'd have been perfectly fine with it. That aside, moving alongside that is, of course, the 4K recording, as you guys saw in the video. It looks fantastic. It takes great pictures, and it takes fantastic 4K video. And the drone shots that it can do is really fun to play around with and stuff that you guys saw a couple of. So I love all the video features. And transferring videos from the drone to your phone is really, really simple. So I had a really easy time getting the footage off the drone to my phone and into the editing program that I had to do. So really all seamless experience using the app. And I love the app, how it, you know, gives you your home point, how you can see the map and where you're flying. And when you're over an area with the drone, if you're not sure what it is, you can pull up the map and you'll be like, oh, you're over this church or you're over this school. So just really, really fantastic how all of it works together. And the battery life, like I said, is about 31 minutes, which is 1 minute longer than the original one. And I got the Fly More combo, so it came with 3 batteries, of course, and all that stuff. One thing I didn't mention in the beginning that I found out afterwards is that it comes with 3 cables for you to connect your phone. So originally in the unboxing, I only saw 2 cables, and that's because the USB-C to USB-C was already in the controller. So USB-C to USB-C, the Lightning cable, and micro USB. So it's got everyone's phones covered as far as that. And the controller is fantastic. It's so much better than the other one. Really easy to hold. I love the phone being on top. It's much better than the phone being on the bottom. It's much easier to look at and kind of just feel like you're holding it into your hands really well. Much, much better experience. The battery life on the thing is much longer than the original one as far as the actual controller itself. So that's fantastic. You don't have to charge that for multiple cycles of what you charge the batteries for. last a really long time. I'm just really, really impressed. Like I said, the controller's much better. Love the phone being on top. I love the way that the control sticks feel, and everything feels fantastic on that. I love the clamping of the phone, how easy it is, much easier than the first one. So that's a plus. 4K recording is fantastic instead of 2.7 recording of the original one. Also fantastic. Third thing, of course, being the most important thing, is how much better the reception and the distance is on this drone. It's awesome. Like I said, there's no other words to explain it. This now being my second drone I've ever used, this is a big upgrade for me, and I'm having a fantastic time flying this thing. And I think they made the right improvements for this one. One of the other things that I didn't really get to experience because it wasn't windy when I was recording this, but this one does go up to 24 miles an hour winds that it can withstand. So the original one was only 15. This one can handle 23.7 mile an hour winds. So you have some more capability of flying this thing in the winds and not risking it flying away because it has a stronger motor and stuff to be able to handle wind. So those are all great features and all great improvements on the first one. So and even the case I like better than the first one. The case is much easier to fit into my book bag. I thought it was bigger, but it's really nice and skinny, as you guys saw. So I love everything about it. All the improvements on this are solid, and I can't wait to use this more when I'm able to go on vacation more than we are all right now. So guys, that is everything I had to say about the DJI Mini 2. If you guys have the first one and you're finding it to be lackluster in the distance department and the reliability of the connection, where sometimes it doesn't go as far as you want it to, this will be a gigantic improvement if anything of my video goes to show. So if that's what you're after and you want that 4K recording, it is definitely worth the upgrade, especially if you can sell off the old one and make most of that money back like I did. So guys, if you guys have any other questions on this video, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.
Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.